What's up, everybody? Another episode of Walk-Ins Welcome. We're so glad that you joined us. My name is Nick. I've got Michael, and we have Philip with us today. Say hi, buddy.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah, man. So Philip is new to our team, new-ish at this point. Like, I just kind of feel like he's part of the fam.
You know,
right?
he's new, but he's not. I can't remember a time before the Philip.
Yeah.
And I'm being honest. So, and now he's uncomfortably close to us.
Right?
Yeah.
We were making jokes about that because you typically don't work in office. You were actually over in another state.
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta, or right outside Atlanta, about 3 hours from here.
Yeah. But you came in to hang out with us, celebrating 6 years at Nick the Marketer as a company. And so we're excited that you're here. But you're our Google Ads guy.
Yep.
And you take care of a lot of our clients. And we want to talk Google Ads today. And it seems appropriate to bring you on. So...
It would.
Well, so let's lay it up first. Why did we want to pull you into the room? Why did we want to pull you in to a podcast about Google Ads? A couple reasons. One, for our urgent care audience, Google is the backbone of your urgent care. Like, that is your source of new patients coming through the door, right?
Yeah.
It's retail healthcare. We know that. You have to rank on Google. You have to be in that MAP 3-pack. And technically speaking, if it's a heavy competitive market, you have to be running ads, right?
Yeah.
So you work with all of our urgent care clients, specifically our urgent cares that are multi-location, all of that kind of stuff. So I want to talk all about Google Ads today. That's what we're going to be talking about. And the second part of that, one, understanding that foundation. Two, a lot of questions. Michael's been getting these questions. I've been getting these questions. So we've been doing a lot of discovery calls with our team, or not our team, but with people calling in wanting to do business with us. And the challenge is, like, they're bringing their Google Ads accounts to us, and they're a mess.
They are a mess.
They're a mess.
I think you saw one yesterday or
Yeah.
2 days ago. You're like, this is bad.
Yeah.
And we won't mention names.
Of course not.
But just to kind of paint the picture, right? So here we are. When we potentially bring on a new client, and if they already have an agency running with, or they're already running their own ads themselves, we get a lot of people saying, "Can you look at my ads and see what's wrong with them?" From your view, now that you've seen that situation a few times, from your viewpoint, what seems to be a common denominator of, like, they shouldn't be doing this and here's why, or even more so of, like, yeah, don't do that. Just please don't do that. You're burning money. What does that look like to most people?
I think, in my opinion, the most common thing is conversion tracking not set up right. And they'll be over-tracking conversions where they'll use GA4 to import conversions into Google Ads, and it actually imports all the wrong conversions, which trains Google to go after the wrong people, which is like throwing your money into the fire.
So for our audience, let's define some stuff, right? What is conversions and conversion tracking?
Conversions are whenever someone takes an action on your website. So when someone clicks to call, when someone clicks to book an appointment, anything like that is a conversion. And if that's set up incorrectly, it fires wrong, and Google thinks that it did a good job when it did it.
Is there a common mistake that's made in the conversion being tracked wrong?
I'd say a lot of people just put the code on the website, the GA4, the Google Analytics code, and let that import into Google Ads. And that's the way they tell you to do it, because Google just wants to be able to take credit and take your money. And the right way to do it is to use Google Tag Manager and use tracking phone numbers and things like that to get a real accurate picture of the conversions.
Nice. Okay, so at a nutshell, we can say to the people that are listening, if you're not using Google Tag Manager, you're probably throwing money away.
Oh, yeah.
Good to know.
What are the actions that you think should be set up for conversions?
Definitely.
Key ingredient actions for urgent cares, for sure.
Okay, yeah. Definitely calls. You need to be tracking, and not just any calls, but calls from an extension and calls from the landing page. Those two are two separate conversions, and it actually gives you oversight to what's actually performing better in your ad account. And the third one is bookings and people that are actually booking appointments. Those three are the main three. That's all you need for your urgent care.
Well, and that's something that should be noted. So notice that all those conversions that were mentioned, like, those are real life actions, not just because we have a big problem in our industry called vanity metrics, where it looks sexier than it actually is. And at the end of the day, a conversion to us means that clinic probably made money off of that conversion.
Exactly.
Usually, at least. I know that we had an account that you looked at just the other day, and they had like 1,300 keywords in it, all these wild things. So what are some things that you saw in there that were like, okay, why are we doing this?
Yeah, definitely. Keyword targeting and negative keywords and getting into your search terms is going to be super important because you'll find that a lot of the times, especially if you don't have a large budget, Google will tend to go after your competitors. So if you're, John's Urgent Care and there's a Ben's Urgent Care and people just search Urgent Care, you'll show up. You and John will show up. But if someone searches Ben's Urgent Care and you're John and they click on Ben's, that click is super expensive and it'll just drain your budget. And Google's like, hey, this is a super ripe conversion. Like they think that it's a good conversion for you and it'll charge you more for it, which means it's just taking more money from you. So, and it'll keep spending money on that keyword unless you negative out that keyword. So staying on top of your negative search terms is going to be super important.
So you just said something, and I just want to get clarification on it because I've never even thought about this. So if you do good and you get a keyword to start clicking, they're going to increase how much it costs per click?
If it's giving you conversions, yeah. And especially if it's competitive. Oh, really?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that if you were getting a click for a keyword that you were bidding on and it started to convert, that they would increase the price on you.
If it's very competitive.
That's messed up.
See,
and I think if we're going to boil down anything, Google's there to make money.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
All their auto tools and everything is designed to make more money every single time.
It reminds me of Wendy's peak pricing thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, you want my hamburger, but we're busy right now,
You
so I'm
want
going
it
to
at
jack my rate up.
$12.30, that's a $4 hamburger. You want it at $4.30, that's a $2 hamburger.
That's right. That's like Google.
That's literally how it works. Yeah, when you have a competitive keyword, so let's just say you're in a like a huge area like Atlanta, and people are searching urgent care in Atlanta. If you get clicks on that at certain times, it's going to be way more expensive than other times. And if you're trying to rank against a huge company, a huge urgent care company, just name any of them, and people are searching for that, you're going to pop up for those ads whether you like it or not most of the time. And there's ways to get around that, of course, using negative keywords. It'll charge you more because those are expensive keywords because a lot of people are trying to go after those same keywords. So the more people are going after those keywords, the more expensive it's going to be. And if it's keywords especially that you don't want to rank for, then you don't want to. Like if you're an urgent care and people are looking for Emory hospitals and you pop up and people click your name under Emory, it's going to be like $16, $17 a click.
And they weren't looking for you.
And exactly.
That's probably a patient trying to get some records or something.
Exactly. Yeah. It could be, just transactional or navigational type of search where they're looking for something, but it's not you. And it still costs you money if they click on your ad.
I think there's benefits of running competitive ads. If you're like a car dealership or something like that, and somebody searches for a Chevy and you own a Ford dealership and you have an offer and somebody's looking for a Chevy truck, you can go here, you can get an F-150. We got $10,000 off MSRP. That's a good ad to run on top of a branded dealership, right?
Yeah.
But in the urgent care space, you have to be very protective of the Google ad dollars because a lot of people are already your patient and they did a Google search to get your phone number. Yeah, you got to be very careful about that because then you're paying for them to get their records or to follow up with an appointment.
Then you run into the issue that majority of our urgent cares are called something urgent care. And so we have quite a few urgent cares that their name is something urgent care. So like there's some issues around that as well because technically that's a keyword that you have to play with. So, but that's interesting.
That's like it being called Wendy's fast food.
Yeah, right.
McDonald's fast food.
Exactly.
Well, it used to be called Wendy's hamburgers.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, so that's some really simple information there. So, but if you were going to just talk to, we have quite a few listeners that probably run their own ads themselves. What are some key things? And if you're going to run your ads yourselves, watch out for this, this, and this. I know in my head, I say, watch out for search partners.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk about that, but just that reaction should tell you, watch out for search partners. But what are some just basic things you really should be doing this, which honestly, we might turn this podcast into a webinar soon enough just because the information is so good. And Google Ads is that weird, you can do it yourself and burn a lot of money, but if you do some tricks here and there, you don't burn as much money and it could be useful. But at the end of the day, you got to be careful. So pretend you just talk to somebody, I'm going to set my own Google Ads. What are the key things you say? Make sure you pay attention to this.
Yeah, I would say the most important thing is setting up all your assets correctly. So you want to have your call assets set up. It's on the left side of the screen. You're going to see ads and assets.
It used to be called extensions.
Yeah, extensions.
For the old school ad runners, that would have been me. I remember when I pulled myself out of ads. I'm totally interrupting you.
Yeah, all good.
Welcome to the podcast, brother. Welcome to
the
Wait till I tell a story.
You'll have a story.
Story time will
in
show up
about 14 minutes, guys.
But in all fairness, though, there's some people out here who may not understand, especially if they have a set it, forget it mentality. What used to be called ad extensions are now called
Assets.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so that's changed. Google's changing things on a monthly basis at this point. It's getting really hard to keep up, but that's our job. So yeah, so you want to make sure your assets are set up. Usually it's connected to your Google business profile for your location assets. That's the second one. So the first one is call assets. That means just adding the phone number that people are going to contact you for. And you can use a tracking number, or you can use your just your regular phone number. We recommend tracking numbers because then you can keep track of everything. But yeah, so you just make sure your calls are set up, and then you want to get your location assets. This happens in your Google business profile, and then you would link that to your Google Ads account. So then when people search urgent cares, you can actually pop up in a little map pack ad on the side.
That is my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm going to say extension, but what I mean is
Assets.
yeah.
Well, yeah, so that like the map pack ad, just to kind of make sure you guys understand. So we understand the Google Map Pack, which is when you do a search, the first three things that show up, it has a map to the right of it. If you're on a desktop, if you're on a phone, it's usually like map, and then there's the three. This is the fourth one that's usually above the three, and it has sponsored beside it. So that's what's happening there. And it's if you are in a super competitive market from an SEO standpoint, like it's hard to rank for keywords organically, the map pack ad is kind of like the shortcut to that.
Yeah.
Because we know people don't look, they just click or tap. And so this is that shortcut. It's not perfect, but it's a great way to kind of get on top quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Those two things, and then a bonus one would be if you have, when you're setting up all your ads, just make sure that the keywords you're trying to rank for is in the ad. That'll help your quality score greatly, and the higher your quality score, the lower you have to pay for your ads.
Well, so we already know this, right?
Yeah.
Urgent care near me. How do you write, if you were going to write an ad with the name urgent care near me in the ad, how would you write that ad? You're helping every listener right now with that one ad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the beautiful part about Google Ads is that it gives you 15 options, right? For headlines. So you would put in urgent care near me as one, and then you would actually just put in urgent care near the actual area that you're targeting. So urgent care near Hoover, urgent care near Birmingham, and it actually helps you rank because Google knows the intention of what the person means by near me. And it actually helps your CTR or your click-through rate. If someone lives in Birmingham and they search urgent care near me, they know that they live in Birmingham. And when they see Birmingham, they click because it's where they're looking for.
So that's one of the things that as an agency owner, all of our client success managers get frustrated with this. Our clients think that urgent care near me is a keyword.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they do.
I'm really trying to help our audience understand that urgent care near me is not a targetable keyword in Google.
Google will never rank that.
You can put it in there. Like I would literally call my urgent care near me.
Yeah.
If I wanted to rank for that.
There's a dentist office on TikTok called Dentist Near Me.
Yeah. But like, if you're going to do it, that would be like, we'll never outrank Hoover Urgent Care when people search for Hoover Urgent Care.
And I would even say, I don't know, what do you think, Philip, is it more common to rank for urgent care city name or city name urgent care? Or does Google care?
I don't think Google cares nearly as much as people put it on. It's mostly, it helps your click-through rate. So think about, Google has been doing this, a lot of, even Facebook, they care more about what the customer thinks. So a lot of people try to game the system when they're really just weighing things like click-through rate, which is purely customer activity. So if someone sees something and they react to it better, Google will reward you for that. Mm-hmm. So in some cases, it might be Birmingham urgent care. In some cases, it might be urgent care in Birmingham. It just depends what gets people to react more and create more actions. Yeah. And Google, from the beginning, it feeds conversion data. So if that headline that you use that says, oh, wow, urgent care Birmingham, and it gives you a lot of conversions, they're going to be like, oh, this is a good headline. We need to raise his quality score and give him cheaper rates because this thing is working.
Well, think about that, too. Why would Google want to give you cheaper rates? It's because there's a higher chance they'll actually click on it, which means they made money. Because Google doesn't make a dime until somebody clicks on something.
Exactly.
And so it is at their interest to show the most converting ads first every single time. I think people forget about that.
That's the great equalizer, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we talk to people all the time, like, I can't compete with the big urgent care down the road that has at least $100,000 a month budget because they're massive. Like, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
We have a really good chance that they're not paying attention to their ads like they should be, and we can outrank them pretty quickly.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about landing pages a little bit, because I think most people will just send everybody to their homepage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big mistake, because a lot of landing pages or websites have a lot of things what we call conversion leaks. So it's a lot of distractions on a homepage. There's so many different things to click, so many things that'll distract someone. So if you have a landing page, it's really just funneling someone down into one option where it's either book an appointment or call someone. But a website gives you access to everything, and that'll confuse a person that's just trying to make a quick action.
Yeah, and we've learned too with our so talking landing pages, like, just make people understand, like, a landing page is basically a single page website, but every bit of the focus is on a conversion action, right? We're trying to get you guys to convert on one or two things, and no distractions, no leaks. I like your phrase, conversion leaks. Like, that makes a lot of sense.
We call them squirrels.
Yeah, right. Distractions. Yeah. And one thing that we've learned too, these landing pages can't be thin content, which means they can't have just a little bit of content with click now, book now. Like, you have to build content so Google can say, yeah, this landing page has the information that's relevant to this ad that I'm about to show. And we've learned that over time. Like, that becomes more and more important every single time.
Yeah.
The reason you don't need to use a website is because the intent is already there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not like Facebook or a television or radio or print. You actually already have somebody who was looking for what you had. You showed up in that search and they found what you had. They clicked on it. Like, there's so much intent behind that.
Exactly.
Unless it's a competitor trying to run up your ad budget.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's
so
very
so there's a thing for that we can talk about, like a ClickCease or something like that, but that's another story. But the intent's already there, so why would you send them to 30 other tabs on a website when you can just get them exactly what they need?
Exactly.
Especially if you're a multi-location.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're going to get lost. I mean, we know that if you can't get them to what, from a Google Ads standpoint, it should be click the ad, click the conversion, right? It should be that smooth, or a call only ad where they're calling right off the ad itself. That's an important thing, especially in the urgent care world. We know people call, like, it, whether you like it or not. They either call, book an appointment, or where are you? Like, they go for directions, and we see that all the time. But anyway, so I just think, so we talked about assets, talked about landing pages a little bit, and some other items on the side. Is there anything else in the Google ad world that people just common mistake all the time?
PMAX.
Oh,
Yeah.
We have to talk about it
Search
because
partner networks
the
and-
people that are doing their own ads right now are allowing Google to do it for them.
Exactly.
Google is sucking the money out of your wallet.
And
it
yeah,
is terrifying actually to watch.
yeah, it's Google is one of those. It's can you blame them? But at the same time, it's wrong, right? They're in the business to make money, so they made PMAX to take smaller businesses' money, because the thing
Terrible.
it's the truth, because PMAX can work if you have a huge budget and you have huge conversion. Like, you have a lot of conversion. If you're
And I
getting
think of e-com, right?
And yeah, in e-commerce, things that where you're getting hundreds of conversions a day. Like, imagine if you're a hospital that had 1,000 people clicking on your website and trying to book every single day. Something like PMAX might work for you, but you want to avoid almost anything Google says to auto apply. You want to avoid, and it's kind of like a
It's
rule
not
of thumb.
there to optimize. It's there to take your
Well,
bits.
and
to optimize their profits.
Well, and we joke about the quality score and things like that on we're at 32% when you be over 90. So, but it's funny because you can sit there and ignore things and you magically get over 90%.
Yeah.
It's because I even saw once where it was like it would give you 5% more if you download their app.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
That's optimization right there.
Yeah, and like, that's something to avoid is PMAX in general. Just avoid it. Stick with a regular search campaign and just start from there, and start with the regular keywords. Like, I would recommend starting with either a broad match, just urgent care near you, and maybe a few other niche, you could say niche things that your urgent care specializes in. That will get you a pretty good start. And then you want to stay on top of your search terms. And go into your search terms and make sure you're checking all of the ones that you don't want to show up for, that don't really show intent. Like, you can clearly see that they're not searching for you. Negative those out on a daily basis, every 3 days minimum, and just get rid of those. And it should put you in a way better position than where you are.
So what I just heard, for those who are running their ads right now, if you haven't opened up your ads account in like a week, you're probably wasting money.
If you hit auto apply, that's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, especially when it says, you need to double your budget today? Yes, I do.
Well, they literally, I don't know about the desktop, but I got a notification on the app where you can set to auto apply recommendations. And I'm going, no.
It'll ruin your account.
Ruin that button. I was just
And
gonna
we've seen it
Well, they're going to
ruined.
auto apply budget increases too. Like it auto applies
yeah.
everything.
And also you went from spending $1,000 a month to $10,000 because Google thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
Because Google needed some extra money for
And
their
think about
stock
it. Google
market.
doesn't know your business. You know your business better than anyone. Don't let them make decisions for you. And I guess the last point or, last piece of advice was Google does, especially if you're starting from a fresh account and you're just getting started, it takes time. It needs to learn, it needs conversions, it needs time. So the rule of thumb is 90 days. If you make a change, make a huge change, it's going to take 60 to 90 days to see the difference. The first week, it'll probably be not where you think it is. But if you have 90 days worth of budget and you can be patient, you will get the results if you stay on top of these, few tips that we gave here.
So, you have TikTok and you have Facebook and Instagram and all of that. People have become accustomed to thinking that you can make immediate changes. Because Facebook, you can make a change, you can spin off another ad set, you can do whatever you want, and it's gonna perform like at 90 days, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But Google's a little bit like their algorithm works a little different. They're a longer playing game.
Yeah,
By design.
It's very similar to SEO. Like this is your wheelhouse. SEO it takes time, and it's something where like once it's working, you don't want to touch it too much. You want to make optimizations, but if you just go wild and crazy, it'll fall off for a bit and then pick back up.
So I've noticed something about you, and I can talk to you because you're fairly new, and we've had other pay-per-click managers with us in the past that have done good work. Some mediocre, it happens, right? Everybody's got a business, right?
Yeah.
But
10 words.
Yeah. No. What I was going to say though is like when I go in and I look at past change histories, you'll see in a week you'll see 100 changes. Where when I go and look at yours on an account that's dialed in, I want to make that delineation there. If that account is dialed in and it's got a good cost per conversion, for an urgent care, you're under $9 for the conversion. Your cost per click is under $2, typically around $1.07, something like that. You're probably at 39 to 40% click through rate. Like that is a dialed in money making machine. At that point, you're just like
At that point, how much budget you want?
yeah,
exactly.
What do you want us to throw budget wise?
Yeah,
We'll just
exactly.
increase from that. And then I go in and I'm so used to seeing 100 changes in a week to where I saw, like I logged into one of yours, the other Optimum, I think is what it was.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like 3 changes. And I'm going, why is there only 3 changes? And then it immediately because it doesn't need any more than 3 changes. It's being monitored, measured, it's converting. Your eyes are all over it because I know you're in there. So that's even like for me a mental switch.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm so used to seeing massive amounts of changes all the time.
Well, and we've seen the detriment of the changes too.
Oh, it's been bad.
We've seen some accounts where it wasn't spending correctly or what. So we're like, well, maybe we should restructure an account, which a restructure means kind of start over. And it wrecked it. And then trying to get back isn't really possible.
Nope.
It really, like at that point, it's almost like you just got to flush the toilet and just let it go and try again. But that's the thing too, because at the end of the day, because we're good at what we do, we're not here making 100 changes a week, trying to make it that great because we know what changes need to be made. And basically, if we let Google tell us what to do, it's just going to make it long. Google wants it to be difficult, right? Because they don't want it to be super simple, and that's why nobody knows their algorithm. But at the end of the day, if we're feeding it what it wants in the interest of the customer, not the interest of Google, then we win.
Yeah. And, something I realized when I started working here is like, yeah, there are a couple accounts that, they need more work than others, but there's some accounts where it just doesn't make sense to make 100 changes a week because it's already working. It's fine. And if I do go in and make all these changes, that introduces a bunch of risk to your business and that negatively impacts our business. Mm-hmm. So it makes more sense to just maintain and optimize, catch those, red herring keywords here and there. But for the most part, Google actually gets better with time. If you don't touch it too much, it'll get better and learn more because the account you were talking about gets a lot of conversions. It's it has a bigger budget than most other urgent cares that we do work for, and it will just naturally over time start to come down, and you just want to just hone it in. You know, look at things that are more expensive than the others and maybe make a little bit changes here and there. But for the most part, once it's moving, it's moving. It's just getting it off the ground and being patient enough to get it there.
Well, and I think in building the right foundation, because if you set your conversions wrong and you're feeding it the wrong data, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. And then we, having the CSMs always talking to the urgent cares and then making sure, like, hey, are the leads we're getting you working for you? And making sure, and then if you're running your own ads, you'll
we're
know.
busy. We can't talk to you right now.
Yeah, our favorite.
That's what we get all the time.
In the urgent care world, when they just slow down their response rate to us, we know they're busy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We had one get mad at us for actually getting them urgent care leads, which cracked me up.
Oh,
But the point is like, then now he told us, we fixed it, I think to immigration or something. I don't remember what. And we haven't heard from him since.
yeah.
And we love him and we love working on this account, but it was the funniest thing. 'Cause
Exactly.
He wasn't prepared for that yet.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the power of Google Ads is once it's, especially when you start off with a good foundation and you give it time, it'll eventually start getting better and better. I think for that specific client, it was after a month. So after about a month, it started like he started getting more leads than he thought he would for a specific thing that he wasn't ready for. But it worked out. And I can't wait to launch the actual urgent care one because it's going to...
It's already primed and prepped and ready to go. Man.
Exactly. And the account, it has the right structure. Google Ads has been fed people that are looking for something like that. So it's just primed and ready. So
one of the things that I think this is going to sound like a pitch for Patient Care Marketing Pros. I don't mean for it to be that way. I'm talking
It
about
is a podcast sponsored by ourselves.
That's right. Between you and Devin, who's also works as a pay-per-click specialist on our team, like you guys have gotten the urgent care as like, let's get this and set it and monitor it, but not go crazy with it. Then y'all are spinning off cool stuff that are really adding value to our clients. Immigration physicals, STD testing,
flu shot.
flu shots,
Physicals in general.
sports physicals.
Yeah.
So like all these different kinds of things that are separated campaigns, right? But you have always this steady stream of urgent care patients that are coming in. Now we're helping them open up other streams of revenue that
Weight
they haven't
loss.
tapped in yet. Weight loss,
Achmed, there's other
Ach-
episodes we talk about profit injections about how to add more. So Achmed, weight loss, IV therapy, all these things that are the add-ons. But we know we have the core figured out. Now we're just sweetening the pot for them each time. And the best part is we don't have to ask them. They just tell us what they offer, and we know what to do when because we've done it enough now.
seasonality.
Seasonality is a real thing in the urgent care world. But,
Well,
cool.
look, I want to take a minute here and just edify Philip. He's come in and feels like has been part of our team for forever.
Yeah.
Right. And you haven't been. You've been here for months.
Yeah, February.
But yeah, exactly. So come in, major mark, made us better as a team. We had a great team in place. It's not like we were bad before, but coming in and elevating. So we'll take a minute and just say, man, good job. Well done. Glad to have you. And then if y'all need us to just take a look at your account, we have a lot of people on the podcast or on our social media channels, or if you haven't joined our Facebook group, go to the Walk-ins Welcome Facebook group, where we'll just answer your questions. Like, you don't have to worry about a sales pitch. You don't have to worry about like this hard proposal coming at you, right?
Well,
it's
just like 2 days ago.
Here you go.
2 days ago, I had somebody come up and, hey, Philip, can you go look at their account?
Dude did a video walkthrough.
Did like a couple minute walkthrough, and like, this is what I would do. And we kind of joked, like, Philip, you gave away all our secret sauce in that video. But
And I was okay with it.
Well, we were okay because we know you're not going to implement it. Like, we know this. But you know that. Like,
Michael shooting darts.
It's true. Yeah, you guys are doctors. You're busy. You don't have time for this.
You should
it
be
makes
doing
more
it anyway.
sense. Yeah.
And whatever he said may not matter in 2 months, right? Because there's a change that will happen. All that being said, like, if you guys I'll say this: if you're spending $2,000 to $3,000 a month on Google Ads and you're only seeing 100 patients out of it max, we could probably help you. Send us a message, and we'll have Philip walk through it. We'll give you a video back. Say these are the problems that we're seeing that you could probably make an adjustment and see an improvement on. So, anyway, wanted to throw that out there to you guys. Hello at patientcaremarketingpros.com. Just send us a message. Happy to help you guys out.
Last thing, and then we'll wrap up. We do have a pretty good online Facebook group that's been building with different urgent cares that it literally is not anything other than a community that we're trying to build to answer questions, not even us. Like, you can tag another urgent care that's in that group and say, hey, how are y'all handling this? And then it's a community that's just sharing information between each other and urgent care best practices where they're not in competition with you. They're more in fellowship with you. So I want to throw that out there. Go to Facebook, Walk-ins Welcome, do that search on Facebook, answer a couple of questions. We'll let you into the group. It's not spam. We don't allow spammers in there. But with that, thank you for listening to another episode with us. We're about 30 minutes in. We're going to cut out. We'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks for listening.
See ya.